I'm your High Street Honey from Great Britain. You're watching the FHM Xbox 360 Global Challenge. Over the next 360 hours, we'll be taking part in one of the most awesome globe-trotting competition experiences ever, where our international FHM winners will be competing against each other in Japan, Australia, the US and Mexico to be crowned the FHM Xbox 360 Global Challenge Champions. After months of promotion and literally thousands of entries to take part, 5 teams of FHM readers from the UK, France, Holland, Denmark and Norway will now be facing off against each other in some of the most intense, exciting and dangerous situations imaginable as we bring the best games from the Xbox 360 to life all around the world and do them for real. Each of the winners gets to bring their best mate along with them and take a vital third team member too, a honey from their own country to lend them the support they need. The competition is fierce and each of our 5 countries is desperate to win, so let's meet the contenders.
Thanks, Natalie. First up, it's Team GB. They're comprised of competition winner Matthew Todd, who's invited top buddy Chris to be his wingman. They're accompanied by UK honey Natalie Pike, who will be adding a vital third ingredient to the mix. Next up, it's Team France. The competition winner from this team is Freddie, and their best pal joining him is Mark. These two are supported by this gorgeous French filly, Amanda. She'll be there to lend a hand of encouragement throughout the trip. Also in the running is Team Holland. These fellas are really in it to win it. Winner Rene rates himself as one of the most competitive people there are, and he's brought Tom with him to back him up. To add a bit of spice to the team, holding their hands throughout will be sultry Simone. Now there's a reason to fight for your country, boys. Our penultimate team are the Norwegians, and for this they've earned the cunning moniker Team Norway. These 2 dynamos are Stig, who won the FHM competition, and Best Mate Tor. Affectionately nicknamed the Hobbits by the competing teams, they're lucky to have the support of this international stunner, Linny. Oh, she's got support all right. Bags of it. The final team in our lineup are the Danes. The winner of these 2 is Peter, and with him is best bud Jacob. They're joined by Electra, lucky buggers, who'll certainly be adding a spark to the proceedings. Coming up on this episode of the FHM Xbox 360 Global Challenge, the teams get behind the wheel to try drifting, though some take to it quicker than others.
We have a crash over there.
First up on the FHM Xbox 360 Global Challenge takes us to the land of the rising sun. Our teams have taken an exhausting 12-hour flight to find themselves in Japan, and after only a short rest, hopped on yet another plane to find themselves at the Takashi International Speedway, in honour of the most amazing and thrilling racing game ever to be seen on a console, Forza Motorsport 2. And just like in the game where players get to tune up and customise their own supercars to drive them around the world's greatest racetracks, our teams have come to snowy northern Japan to try out drifting.
The clock is certainly running as our teams prepare to spend the day competing against each other on a racetrack made entirely of snow and ice. The teams are eager to get cracking, and perhaps Norway and Denmark have an advantage. It gets a bit chilly up there, you know. First things first though, before you can drive a car sideways, you need to know how.
The sport of drifting is like ice skating. It's a way of artistically manoeuvring a vehicle to unsettle it, to break traction. Let's look after the car to maximise your enjoyment today. The worst thing, if you stick it into the bank first corner, you get a cheer, and then you're sitting upstairs for the rest of the day.
A few hints and tips later and the FHM teams are ready to suit up. And once the helmets are on, the gloves come off.
I think today we can beat them all, not just for the drive, for all activities.
Yeah, we're gonna win it all.
They compete, baby. And they're all already hungry for victory. Although, even with all the skill, knowledge and the snazziest racing suit in the world, there's one thing you'll never be able to drift without. Balls like watermelons and, just like in Forza Motorsport 2, a finely tuned and customised sports car.
Ladies and gentlemen, please meet Black Beauty. Orange Rocket. Here comes the Silver Arrow. Champagne Charlie. The Green Monster.
So, with the cars assigned to each team and well and truly christened with new international identities, there's only one thing to do. Get out on the track. Thoughts?
It's gonna really kick some ass.
Thanks, Norway. Before competing, it's practice time as our instructors need to see how our boys can handle themselves.
Can we get a push?
As it happens, badly. Only on the corners, fellas. It's early days, and already, due to last night's shenanigans, one of our drivers is out of the running.
I drank too much yesterday, so I can't drive today. So we've got this girl here filling in for me.
I'm gonna do my best.
She's a better driver than me, so, and better than him, so we'll win.
Really? So what's wrong with the other half of the Dutch team?
We have a crash over there.
Look at the green one.
It looks like the other teams are delighted to see their rivals putting a foot wrong.
He crashed and all he was concerned about is, can I souvenir this?
Can I souvenir?
I crashed.
Stoners.
But how have they all been getting on?
It was just like driving at home, I think, no problem.
I think I got it pegged pretty much. He said give it a bit more power.
I said give it a bit and he went that much. If it goes into a spin, just brake and clutch, just stop. Yeah? If you're going to spin, we're going to crash.
Yeah.
Just have the lowest speed crash you can.
The better our teams are getting, the hotter the competition. We've already had to take the GB boys to one side for car tampering. But now, after a second round of coaching, the teams have less than an hour to get themselves up to competition level. Will they learn from their mistakes? Or just turn their finely tuned cars into expensive snowplows? They've had the chance to see each other drive, so what do they think of the competition?
England is pretty good, I think. The Norwegians.
Yeah, that felt a lot better than the first one, obviously because I didn't crash, so it felt 10 times better.
I'm pretty impressed, with the time available, how good your driving is already.
Coming up on the next episode of the FHM Xbox 360 Global Challenge. It's competition time for our teams. And who knows, we may even coax the honeys out of the warm. Earlier on in Stage 1 of the FHM Xbox 360 Global Challenge, we sent our 5 international teams to Japan to try the fine art of drifting, or, as it's better known, driving a sports car around corners sideways, as we bring top racing game Forza Motorsport 2 to life. Now, after a day's intense training, it's time to take everything they've learnt, throw it out of the window in blind panic, and put their feet down as they pit themselves against each other in a 2-lap drift-off. The rivalry has already kicked off between our teams, and everyone wants to start the competition with a win.
Do your breathalyzer, son.
I think I failed.
Promising start. Anyway, with our teams on the starting line, they're off. Each team has 2 drivers competing. They'll each get 2 laps to produce the best drifts, and they're being marked by the instructors on time, length of drift, angle and technique, while the honeys will be judging our boys on style. Let's drift. All the teams seem to struggle on that first corner. Come on fellas, put your foot down. That's the stuff. It's Norway there in the red, leading the way. At this point, the rest can barely hold it on the straights.
Driving like a girl, like a minge. Let's put his foot down, man.
It seems there's already dissension in the GB team. That's them in the black, stopping for no reason. Wow, Denmark are really getting into the swing of things there in the silver bullet.
I crashed over there, so I think it was little.
We're confident that we have a good chance of winning.
As the boys are driving, the girls are also marking them on style. How are the numbers looking, girls?
Can't confer, sorry. No
It's a
conferring.
secret, sorry.
Right, next up, it's time for the second drivers to take to the track. Blimey, solid stuff from all the teams. It looks like they've learned from their teammates' mistakes. trust the French to finish in style. They might be able to drift, but they can't park for love nor money.
Nailed that corner down there, it was awesome. But I don't know how I did on the rest of the course.
He said in the last corner there, good drift, but not as good as the Frenchman, so you should ask him.
We don't know, yeah, we had lots of pleasure. I don't know if we are best or not. But,
yeah, that's anyway. I said everybody were good.
Till the last minute, last
everybody
second.
take pleasure.
Yeah.
So everything very perfect. That's great. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I don't know if we win, but maybe third place, something like that.
So, with all the teams having drifted to the edge, and over it in some cases, it's off to the podium to see which countries have taken the first points on offer.
Okay, and up to the podium first, please. The Netherlands!
First to step forward then is Team Holland in third place, rightfully co-owned of course by their honey who stepped in to save the day.
In second place, it is... Oh, Denmark! Come on up!
No surprise there, well used to driving on ice I suppose.
In first position, it's France!
Ah, the French are victors.
Fucking bullshit!
To the delight of Team GB obviously.
Yeah, it was very nice. We spent a very good day. We are over the moon. But no, we are not expecting to win.
Maybe I said in the beginning yes, but no.
So after the first event, it was Team France that set the track alight with their drifting skills. They were followed by Team Denmark, in third place Holland, fourth place Norway, and in fifth place with a little bit of ground to make up, it's Team GB. And boys, time is already running out. Well, that's it for Japan and the fantastic Forza Motorsport 2. Next up on the FHM Xbox 360 Global Challenge sees our teams travel to Australia to make one of the games of the year come to life, Gears of War. See you all in Sydney.
In the next stage of the FHM Xbox 360 Global Challenge, our teams are off to Australia. Although they may live to regret it. Ah, man boob!
After all the excitement of Japan and Forza Motorsport 2, our teams jetted off to a new location on the FHM Xbox 360 Global Challenge. As well as the actual competition to deal with, our teams have to battle the grueling flight times and jet lag that goes hand in hand with trying to complete a world tour in 360 hours. After the first event, Team France are in the lead, but you can be sure all the other teams will be working really hard to get full marks today. Come on, Team GB!
Coming up on this episode of the FHM Xbox 360 Global Challenge, our teams enjoy Sydney.
The best thing we've done ever.
And get back to the serious business of the competition.
Stage 2's event draws its inspiration from one of the most amazing and incredible shooting games ever to be seen on a console, Gears of War. To try and recreate the game, we've brought our competition winners to the biggest and best paintball venue we could find, just outside of Sydney, Australia. But before we put them, and us, in the line of fire, they needed to practice their skills. So let's see how they're getting on.
Cheers, Natalie. Yep, our teams have taken a long overnight flight from Japan to find themselves in Sydney. Tired they may be, but that's not going to stop them enjoying themselves.
We're going to go on a speedboat ride around the harbour, so it's very exciting, although we've just had our dinner, so there might be a few accidents, I think, maybe. That was lovely. That was a wet t-shirt competition in a boat.
The best thing we've done ever.
Did you get the girls with the see-through tops? Good man,
We have a coffee.
man.
I'm so cold. What are you filming?
Your beautiful eyes? Anyway, with a big day ahead of them tomorrow, our teams head back to the sanctuary of their hotel in preparation for Stage 2, the Gears of War Challenge. It's a new day, and with it comes a surprise for our competition winners, who'll be travelling to Stage 2's venue in style.
Oh, look at the little bad boy I'm riding today. What year is it?
2005.
2005, classic.
This is my bike. It's awesome.
It was a big surprise.
This is awesome.
They're going to love it, mate. The best thing they've ever done.
I would like to get to drive, but I don't think that's possible.
For sure, they're going to have a great time.
No worries.
A short trip into the outback later, and our 5 intrepid teams find themselves here in one of the most awesome paintball parks there is. Over the next few hours, they'll be battling against each other in the ultimate paintball challenge.
Awesome, man, awesome. Hell of a surprise.
Good surprise.
It was awesome.
Amazing. This trip is getting better and better all the time.
Oh, I feel really sexy.
Needless to say, there was a lot of negotiating before we were able to get any of them back. So, on with the competition. Our 5 teams of 2 will be facing off against each other in intense paintball warfare. They'll be taught by top pros, but will the lessons sink in?
I just think at the end of the day it's point and shooting it, so.
We have to warm them up because we're going to win.
I think we all get the French, do we?
Yeah, the French, of course.
We all shoot in the French.
That's the main priority.
We all get them out of the way, and then we'll go in just against each other. As long as we get the French down,
the French,
we can't have them win them again.
Blimey. It may have started off as a bit of fun, but it's now become apparent that all the teams want each other dead. Still, with the French topping the leaderboard, it's no surprise all the other teams have got the knives out, especially Team GB, who are currently at the bottom of the table.
There's your goggles, guys. That goes just around your waist. 800 shots in here. You'll have 200 in your gun waiting for you.
After tooling up, and before redecorating each other's faces, our teams have got a bit of time before they compete to learn tactics and strategy.
You've got a wall of paint going that way. You've got less likely to have a wall of paint coming back this way. So that means you can go to another barricade quite easily. Until I get into here. That's all it is. You can go as fast and as hard as you want. Hug your barricades at all times. Don't come up over the top. Start there, come out and go. Bang, bang, bang.
Obviously, I'm a little bit concerned because I was a Bike Pro fan as a child and did watch PJ and Duncan get blinded by the paintballs. So we've had a bit of a talk about that, and they know not to take their goggles off because we don't want a Bike Grove incident on our hands. You're scared of PJ and Duncan, aren't you?
I'm scared of them. Is it forwards like that?
Coming up in part 2, it's face-off time for our teams.
Go Team Winnie!
And the war wounds are coming in thick and fast. Earlier on in Stage 2 of the FHM Xbox 360 Global Challenge, you'll have seen our teams hop off an 8.5-hour flight from Japan to find themselves in Sidney, Australia. There, they've soaked up the sights, tried and failed to get some sleep, and been whisked off on Harley Davidsons to one of the most awesome paintball parks on the planet to take one of our teams a step closer to being the FHM Xbox 360 Global Challenge champion. This is the Gears of War Challenge.
The fuck are you looking at?
To start off, it's a free-for-all, and our teams are battling out in the woodlands, getting points by gaining tags, just like in the game Gears of War. There's no mucking about now, our teams are straight into it, and the last one standing win.
3, 2, 1!
First teams to hit the dirt are GB and France. It's a grudge match if ever there was one, these being the two teams from the top and bottom of the table. If they stand any chance of winning the Global Challenge, Team GB need a win. A convincing win from Team GB to start things off.
One down.
Ah! Oh! Okay, I shoot myself.
I think it was 4-0.
It was.
It was hard. It was hard.
Awesome victory.
Where's the other one?
I think he's dead.
We will adjust our technique. We'll see.
That's really hurting, you know.
Holland and Norway were up next, but for some reason they both found it hard to concentrate on the game. The result, 2-2. Next, it's the Danes' first taste of action against France, and they're off to a flyer, cruising to a 3-1 victory.
Yes!
It's tough for me, I think. I'm too tall, I don't know.
Excuses, excuses.
Make me proud, Norway!
I'm sure they'll try as they take on the might of Team GB, still glowing no doubt from their earlier win.
It's one apiece.
Norway!
It was all going well until Todd on Team GB got a little overzealous.
He got a little bit overshot, so I think I'll reverse that point from Great Britain to Norway. So now it's 2-1 Norway.
I reckon you blind!
Overshooting the Norwegian Hobbit has cost GB a point and added 1 to Team Norway's score. They've held to a draw, but will that cost GB overall victory?
We were robbed!
Yeah,
That's my team.
I think it was a bit of dirty play.
Was it the English who shot me? I'm gonna get him later.
Next, Holland versus Denmark, and the Danes, who couldn't live up to their earlier victory, went down 3-1. Ooh, that's gotta hurt. Even a win isn't good enough for those boys.
4-0.
3-1.
No, because I didn't get shot, I shot him, and that's why I did this.
No, I know you just shot him then, but the other
Yeah,
one
but
was
the other game, I hit him on the stone.
It was 3-1, but you won the match anyway.
Okay, but it was 4-1, but okay, I don't give a crap.
That was wicked. It's awesome.
Single last round, I shot him and I put my arm in the air, so they thought I got shot. That's why it's 3-1, but whatever, we won, so it's great.
France took on the pint-sized Norwegians next, who managed to sneak a 2-1 victory. Those little scamps, they are uniquely motivated though. GB then returned to the pitch to tackle Denmark. Could they hold on to their winning streak? With that support, of course they could. The match finished up 2-1 in their favour.
Cool.
Holland were then up against current championship leaders France, who really weren't having much luck. In between shooting themselves and guns not working, they clung on for a 1-1 draw.
Alright, you just finished the paintball. Was fucking mad. And
Nobody touched us. We escaped all the balls, and I think we are
They're
pretty
deserved.
safe. Yeah, we won everything.
Go Team Linny!
In the penultimate match, it was Denmark versus Norway, or Team Linny as they're now affectionately known. They lost 2-1, and let's just say they were plagued by strategy issues.
We shot at each other 3 times, I think. That was bad. Yeah. So bad communication. Yeah.
We're okay, but I think there were some of the other teams that did better.
We got shot a lot.
But then, with only moments for a quick drink, the two top teams of the day, GB and Holland, were called into action. And with devastating marksmanship, GB claimed the victory to put the Dutch down 2-1.
They're brilliant. They're really good. I'm really impressed.
With all the matches played and the points in, it's podium time as we find out how our teams have fared in Stage 2 of the FHM Xbox 360 Global Challenge.
Yeah, we lost.
In third place, and if you guys would like to come up, it's France.
Current competition leaders France take the 3rd spot. Good news for competing teams.
In second place, it is Netherlands.
Holland take the number 2 spot. After Stage 1, that's 2 podium places for them.
And in first place, Wales.
And it's 0 to hero for Team GB, rocketing from a last place performance in Stage 1 to a chart-topping spot in Australia.
Well, basically we just won that event. Awesome. Gained us 5 points, taking us up to 6. But we're still 2 points behind.
we're second overall.
you got a pretty good chance, I guess, coming first.
What we'll do is we'll help the other two teams beat the Dutch and the French, and then when they're down, we'll take the other two.
World War III. That's what we're planning. The English pretty well this time. They had like 1 point before, and now they got 5. So now they're third. So we have to watch out for them.
You certainly will. All the teams are back in the running. Let's catch up with Natalie to check out the scores.
Wow, there was some fierce competition out there, and I think everyone has got some battle scars to show for their efforts. But in the end, it was Team GB who triumphed and won the event. They were followed closely by Holland, then France, then Denmark, with Norway bringing up the rear. So after 2 events, it's Team France who are still in the lead, just with Team Holland close behind. There's no time to rest, as the third stage sees our teams jet off to America and Los Angeles, where we're carrying on with the shooting theme, only this time we're using real bullets.
On the next episode of the FHM Xbox 360 Global Challenge, our teams find themselves in Hollywood and get to live out their action movie fantasies.
The third stop on the FHM Xbox 360 Global Challenge sees our teams visit possibly the most glamorous city in the world, Los Angeles. After leaving Stage 2 and Australia behind, the teams have ocean hopped on a 14-hour flight to get there. They're tired, jet-lagged and sick of aeroplane food, but they're hungry for the next challenge. That's right, our teams are in Hollywood to pay tribute to one of the most eagerly anticipated Xbox 360 games ever, Crackdown. Where the game Crackdown is based on super intense cop action on the mean streets of Pacific City, we're challenging our boys to learn the necessary Crackdown skills in the deserts just outside LA. Not only will our boys be receiving live ammo and combat training, but they'll have to use those skills to come to the rescue of their very own High Street Honey hostage to prove their worth. This one's going to be intense. Let's get started.
Coming up on this episode of the FHM Xbox 360 Global Challenge, the teams compete on the range with real bullets and get drilled into soldiers by ex-professionals. The clock is still running and we're about reaching the midway point in the competition as we embark on Stage 3. The teams are in the hometown of some of the most famous people on the planet, so we thought it was only fair to lend a hand to help them fit in. Travelling in a fully kitted out stretched Hummer, the FHM teams are driven to a specially developed training facility out in the California desert. Here they'll be trained in weapons, tactics and offensive combat. The teams will then be judged on a specific mission to see who's the best. Let's hear a word from the instructors.
The aim here is to shoot live weapons, which is live ammunition, and therefore it is very dangerous, okay? We've got a variety of pistols, which is semi-automatic 9mm. We have 357 revolvers. We have assault rifles. We have an Uzi. We have an Armalite, an M16, and we also have some pump-action shotguns, and we have some semi-automatic shotguns as well.
Right, just a few then.
That hand cups underneath like so. Lean forward and fire.
Shit! It was really heavy, my arms are a bit sore.
Not nearly as sore as a farmer over the ridge whose arse you just popped the cap in, Natalie.
It's good to get some live ammo in the guns rather than paintballs.
I got him in the head,
It was a bit hard, but at the end I think I got it.
That was fantastic. First time for a real gun, yeah.
Getting to grips with a pistol is one thing, but as a few of the FHM teams have said to the Honeys, try and get your hands around this beast.
Pump, fire.
Little harder this one.
Go, go!
Push him.
With the shotguns empty, the teams move on to practice on the armour lights and rifles. Just like back in Nam, baby.
Wicked! Yeah.
With a whole bucket load of practice rounds down the range, it's time for the first part of Stage 3's Crackdown Challenge, accuracy. The teams will be using pistols and have a number of shots each to target the 0 in the Xbox 360 logo.
5 shots on the target, then we'll rotate, get the next person up, and then the honey have 15 shots to score. A lot of pressure on, okay? Good to go? Everyone ready?
Let's do it.
5 things we're going to be looking at when you're shooting: accuracy, safety, confidence with the weapon, your stance, and your proficiency.
A little bit of dignity, I brought it back. My teammates were starting to hate me, I think, after the first round.
In 5th place, Denmark. In 4th place, we have the Netherlands. In 3rd place, Norway. In 2nd place, GB. And in 1st place, France.
Next, it's back in the Hummer as our teams are transported to the Blue Cloud Ranch, another custom-made development solely designed for training soldiers. Get in!
What we need to do is to get you guys up to speed to make sure that you can work effectively as a hostage rescue unit in your pairs.
After some intense training, our teams relax back at the hangar to take in what they've learned and drink some much needed water. Big mistake, fellas. Big mistake.
Shut it! Get your fucking weapon down! Go! Go! Get in there! Get to the fucking gun! Go! 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 Motherfuckers!
Coming up in part 2. In the aftermath of the Honey's kidnap, our teams have a rescue on their hands. But how will they cope against trained professionals? Earlier on in Stage 3 of the FHM Xbox 360 Global Challenge, you'll have seen our teams arrive in LA, travel in style in the luxury of a stretched Hummer, and have a shootout in our firing range competition. After spending the day being trained in weapons, tactics, strategy and combat, the teams were taking a well-earned rest when this happened.
Shut it! All of you! Fucking! Go! Go! Go!
Let's catch up with the teams as they're briefed on what's happening next.
We have intelligence reports come through to tell us that your honeys have been taken to Pacific City. They are being held there, captive, and the gangs are demanding a ransom. If it's not paid within a certain period of time, they are looking to start chopping off the fingers of our honeys. So what we need to look to do is to carry out a hostage rescue scenario.
We'd like to enjoy, but maybe the other won't be very happy with our first place this morning, then they want some revenge.
All the teams are instructed to assemble outside, but how are they getting to Pacific City? Oh, helicopter, of course. Two at a time, our teams are airlifted by a professional combat pilot to the danger zone. And with a low fly through the valleys and the theme tune from Airwolf whistling in their ears, by the time they hit the ground, they're buzzing.
Amazing, yeah, good trip.
Fucking awesome.
With the helicopter retreating to safety, it's time for our teams, one pair at a time, to prove themselves and put all their skills to the test and to get their honey back.
Okay, stand by guys, let's move it out.
First to enter the arena is Team GB. Go on, boys!
Woo!
Taking on the pros, they'll have to work their way through the streets to where their honey's being held and get her out safely.
Target, come down!
The soldiers' eyes are on them at all times, judging the performance.
Come in, everywhere!
It's a very confident performance from Team GB, resulting in a mission success. How will the next team get on?
My heroes.
Team Norway, or the Hobbits as they're nicknamed, are next on the battlefield.
Let's get our honey out in one piece.
Although they haven't had much practice with automatic weapons in Middle-earth, the little buggers are quick, we'll give them that.
Shut up, slag!
A good result for Norway in a very intimidating time. Team France are next to jump in. Whoa, steady! They get off to a great start, taking on the terrain with surprising aggression. They must really want to get that honey back.
Okay, smooth!
Second to last to go were the boys from Holland, who started off with a bit of lackluster running, to be honest. Pick up the pace, fellas! That's better. They made up for it with a few tasty headshots at the end there. The final team in the field were the Danes. What the team lacked in speed, they made up for with, well, brutal aggression, to be honest. They got the honey out unscathed, at least until they dragged her out like that. Jeez.
It's hard to think. This is going so quick. We got them a couple of times, so I think we did pretty good.
With all the missions completed, the pros have to score the teams on their performance. Who should join the Marines, and which team should stick to the Scouts?
In third place, please step forward, Norway!
Team Norway take the third spot. Those little Scouts.
In second place, France!
The French take the number 2 spot. They're consistent on the podiums, you've got to give them that. I do sense a bit of disappointment, it's not a win though.
And in first position, it's Team GB! Come on down!
It's 2 firsts in a row for Team GB, who totally turn around a disastrous start to the competition to put themselves back in the running. Amazing stuff.
They were 1 point behind France, which means
French.
It's going to be a tough one in the last game.
Yeah, but we're moving up. We started bottom.
Yeah.
No, we're pulling it back. We're using violence, but we're pulling it back.
It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. It's a cliche, it works.
It was an amazing day. We lots of activities, very funny, very enjoyable, over the moon. Yeah.
We go all out now to win the next one and bring it home.
Woo!
Because otherwise Natalie fucking goes mad. I'd rather win than have a fucking Euro.
I scared them so much in Japan that they dare not lose now.
That's it for Stage 3 and the glitzy lights of Hollywood Boulevard and Xbox's Crackdown.
It's been a fantastic round, so let's check out the scores. Taking the number 1 spot in this stage is Team GB, and they're followed closely by Team France, and hot on their heels are the rest of the teams, Norway, Holland and Denmark. So that means overall that Team France are just holding on to the lead, but they're followed very closely by Team GB. There's just 1 point in it.
With gunshots still ringing in their ears, our teams are heading to Mexico for the final stages of the FHM Xbox 360 Global Challenge. Will Team France stay in the lead, or will the whole competition turn on its head? But most important, will any of the boys be able to concentrate when me and the girls are playing beach volleyball in our bikinis? Stay tuned to find out.
On the next episode of the FHM Xbox 360 Global Challenge, our final stage sees our team soak up a little bit of luxury, and finally, we get the honeys in bikinis. Woohoo!
The final stop on the FHM Xbox 360 Global Challenge sees us go to one of the world's most exclusive and famous resorts, Cancun, Mexico.
We've been all over the world in the last 360 hours to find our championship team, and it's here that the winner will be decided, as our teams have travelled down from LA for the last leg of their trip. First up, our boys will be challenged to mimic the extreme beach sports activities of brand new Xbox 360 game Dead or Alive Extreme 2, which will see them racing each other on jet skis and challenging each other to a beach volleyball tournament. And after that, before crowning the FHM Xbox 360 Global Challenge champion, we'll be hosting the mother of all Viva Pinata parties. It's going to be a wild stop with everything to play for. Just 3 points separate the top 3 teams: France, Great Britain and Holland. It's all going to be decided here, on the beaches.
Coming up on this episode of the FHM Xbox 360 Global Challenge, the pressure gets too much for the French.
This game is not for me. I'm nearly blind, don't see anything, didn't get anything.
And the teams kick off their last round of challenges. Tired, jet-lagged and very probably hungover, our teams arrive at their last stop, Cancun, Mexico. And here in the last few days of the challenge, we've arranged a little bit of heaven for them.
Yeah.
Perfect.
It's outstanding. Absolutely outstanding.
Our teams have arrived just in time to catch the sunset and enjoy a nice relaxing evening before tomorrow's final challenges. It's the final day of the FHM Xbox 360 Global Challenge, and to end our Mexican standoff, our teams will be hunting bikinis on the beach and playing each other at beach volleyball. But first, they knew a relaxing boat trip couldn't last forever, as Stage 4 kicks off with the Jet Ski Challenge. Our pairs will be racing 2 at a time in order to get the fastest lap. First to brave the waves is Team Norway. Word on the sea is that the Hobbits may have an advantage over the other teams, as, like the best jockeys, they weigh roughly, well, nothing. Blimey, look at them go! All that practice on snowmobiles really coming into play.
Oh, I'm so proud of my boys. Yay!
Yeah. Up next, Denmark. But lacking support, these two, Electras had to go to shore after getting seasick, so they're on their own.
We had a bad start with Electra, had to come off the boat because she was seasick, so we missed her. We did a good job to cheer her up when we come home and can say we won this.
Ah, bit of confidence there, but there's a lot of that about.
I feel quite confident about it. I mean, I have a tactic no one really uses just yet. I want you to feel it, you have to see it for yourself.
Well, we're about to, as you're up next. When's this new tactic coming into play then? Ah, there it is. Talk us through it, boys.
You should have filmed me, man. I did a crazy backflip.
I did all the corners quite sharp. That one I couldn't keep on the thing, so I just fell off.
I was going too fast, trying to make a corner I could make. Fell off. This looks quite bad, but fuck it. It's awesome.
Not so confident are the Welsh boys representing GB, who've not had much jet skiing experience in Swansea.
If it was joyriding, we'd be up for that. Mugging, we're pretty good at that.
Saying that though, they're looking pretty sharp.
They were very good as always. You can't come last, please.
Well, exactly. You know, but we can't come last. So basically, Netherlands came off, both of them. I think basically they were too tall for the jet skis.
No, it was Operation Flash and Distract at its best.
As long as we beat the French, that's all I care about.
Yeah, me too.
Well, let's see how they do as they complete the final laps. Oh, airtime. Nice.
Only 2 laps, so we can't bet on anything, on any winners. Everybody was very close.
Go France!
Go France indeed. To keep all the teams on edge, the scores are to be kept under wraps until later. There's no time to ponder on them though, as they move straight on to the second challenge, the Bikini Beach Hunt.
You have 15 minutes to find as much stuff as possible. For these 3 items here, you get 10 points. If you find a bottom or a top, you get 20 points. However, there is a bonus point. If you can find James's jockstrap, you get 30 points.
30 points!
3, 2, 1, go!
Despite the blistering heat, our boys are off like rockets. Those Norwegians in particular never seem to run out of energy. The same can't be said for everyone though.
I think that's weed or something.
This game is not for me. I'm nearly blind and I don't see anything. Didn't get anything. So I hope my other French will find something.
100 points! Yeah! Let's go, France!
Exhaustion seems to be creeping in for most of the teams. But God knows what Todd's on, you can't keep that boy still for a minute.
I want to know where James's jockstrap is.
Yep, he's asking for trouble with that.
Oh, fuck off.
Wow, Chris really wants those points. GB will do anything for a win. Oh! So let's rack up the scores with the help of our assistant, Nikki.
There's nothing for a coconut in this game.
Oh, come on.
60 points, 40, 50, and a bit of a hat fetish going on there. Team Denmark, 50. And James's jockstrap.
Okay.
That's a total of 190 points.
Awesome! GB have simply crushed the competition with more points than the rest of the teams put together. That's a poor show from the French though. Could this have cost them the title? Coming up on the next and final part of the FHM Xbox 360 Global Challenge, after 360 hours, we finally reveal our champions.
But the winner is...
Earlier on in the final stage of the FHM Xbox 360 Global Challenge, we saw our teams arrive in paradise, better known as Cancun, Mexico. It's right here that our competition is reaching its climax, and none of the teams have come this far to give up easily. With just one event to go, literally single points in it, and with none of the teams knowing exactly what their scores are, this last challenge means everything. And so to our final competition challenge. And what better way to end than having our teams fight it out on the beach, using the medium of volleyball. Genius. First to play, GB in Holland with Nikki, who's covering for a poorly Simone. GB start off with a 7-3 win in their favour. It seems like no one can hold a candle to them at the moment.
One step closer to the championship.
Norway take on Denmark next, and although Frodo and Sam battle bravely, it's the Danes who triumphed with a 7-4 victory. It's grudge match time. France and GB take to the sand. Over the last few challenges, Team GB have managed to consistently pit them to the post. Not this time, it's disaster for the Brits as they're hammered 7-2.
Way!
Bloody French.
Norway take on Holland next. It's the tallest versus the shortest, and by God does it show, as they're obliterated 7-0. It's back to the Shire for you boys. Having both won their first games, France and Denmark were well up for it. But the joy of having beaten GB must have given France the taste for victory as they slaughter the Danes 7-0. Next, it's GB versus Norway, and the prospect of facing off against Linny has really got to Todd. Having lost one and seen the French on awesome form, the pressure's on, and it shows as they go down 7-5.
Go on, Denmark.
It was Linny versus us and she stuffed us.
Holland and Denmark challenge each other next, and the evenly matched teams take it to extra time, with Holland finally winning out with an 8-6 scoreline. Riding high on a winning streak, the French take on Norway. A certain victory? Wrong. The Norwegians fight back, really sticking it to Freddie and Mark with a 7-0 victory. Bilbo would be proud.
Skills!
Our penultimate match gives GB their last chance to claim a victory in this challenge as they take on the Danes. Incredibly, after having worked so hard over the last few weeks to put themselves back in the running, it seems like Team GB are throwing it all away as they crash out in a humiliating 7-1 defeat. It's the final game in the final challenge as France takes on Holland. Winner of this match wins the volleyball competition, and it's Holland who take it with a 7-4 win, keeping France at bay. And there ends the final stage of the FHM Xbox 360 Global Challenge. Although with neither France nor GB winning the volleyball, it's impossible for our teams to tell who's taken the top spot. They'll have to wait for the final announcement at tonight's Viva Piñata party. It's the last night in Cancun, and our teams assemble in the pool house to hear the final results of the competition. Have Team GB brought it back from the brink? Have Team France held on for victory? Or from nowhere, have Holland made a last-minute comeback? Let's find out.
In 5th position, Team Norway!
Norway takes 5th place. They've been a fantastic team, and I don't think even coming last could dampen their spirits.
In 4th place, we have our Danish friends, Peter.
Denmark don't seem too disappointed to take the 4th spot. They've been a solid team throughout and have really kept things close between the top 3.
Oh, thank you.
In 3rd place, Team Netherlands! Tom and Renee and Simone, come on down!
So it's Holland in 3rd and the first team this evening to take to the podium. They seem happy with that, and well they should.
In 2nd place, and it was a very, very close race. It's Team France.
So it's France in a number 2 spot. You can sense a bit of disappointment there. They really thought they might have had it. Still, they can take to the podium with pride.
But the winner for the 2007 FHM Xbox 360 Global Challenge is Team GB!
It's GB in 1st, and what a remarkable story. After a crushing last place in Japan, it's been an uphill struggle for them all the way. But with grit and determination, they fought their way back to the top spot. Phenomenal. So, with the winners announced, there's nothing left for our teams to do but let their hair down in the last night Viva Piñata party. And my God, did they just.
In this final stage, the Dead or Alive Extreme 2 challenges, it was Team GB who came out first, with Team Holland in 2nd, Denmark and Norway were joint 3rd, leaving France for the first time in last place. Congratulations Team GB, who've done absolutely brilliantly over the last 360 hours to be crowned as competition winners. The rest of the scoreboard reads Team France in 2nd, so well done to them, in 3rd Team Holland, and in 4th and 5th Teams Denmark and Norway.
Wow, I don't know about you, but I'm exhausted. Over the last 360 hours, we've travelled from London to Japan, to Australia, to LA, and then finally to Cancun in Mexico. Congratulations to all the guys that took part. You did yourselves proud, as we've brought to life the Xbox 360 games, Forza Motorsport 2, Gears of War, Crackdown, Dead or Alive Extreme 2, and Viva Piñata. And now it's time for the FHM Xbox 360 Global Challenge to draw to an end. And as the FHM teams celebrate their last night in Cancun, it's time to drink up and think about the long journey home.